Okay, so we're quickly going to do emailer marketing. So there's a concept of drip email campaigns. Also similar is something called as chase marketing. We'll be doing all of that, and we're also going to be doing B2B and B2C. I'll explain what these are, and why we're doing this is because you may be in industries where you're managing, customer related products, or you may be in industries which is managing client related products, right? So we'll quickly go through. It's a little bit of a fun session. It's not very heavy. So when we talk about email marketing, right, most of the things that come to our mind is usually emails that we get on our Yahoo Gmail, wherever we have emails, and we see a lot of spam emails come in, right? So Zomato will be sending in 2 emails every day. Lenskart will be sending you an email. Myntra will be sending you an email. And all of these, while they constitute email marketing, there's a lot of spamming also that happens, because we are expecting that we should get email for something that we're interested in, or something that we'll be interested in, right, in future. So there are products that we have a need for currently, and there are products that we see and we get triggered to purchase. We are hoping email marketing solves that. Unfortunately, what businesses do is that they go and send out an email every single day, knowing that, and hoping that someday a person will see an email and hope to buy, right? And that's where a lot of email marketing strategies go wrong, because there's a lot of spam that happens. Now, as consumers, when you look at it, right, you see so many emails that come in which say this is your OTP, or this is your order status, or this is what you have purchased, or this is what you left in cart. And there are multiple types of emailers in a day, right? Minimum we get 30 to 40 spam emailers. Out of this, which is an email that even is something that you look at and you purchase, is going to be a very rare thing now. And that is why all marketers have to decide, see, this is a frequency with which we will send. We will not send too many emailers. And this is a call that we have to take. So we'll discuss that also today. Now, there are 3 types of emailers that are there. One is a traditional emailer, one is a promotional emailer, one is a transactional emailer. While we go through samples of all of these 3 emailer types, the agenda or the objective of these 3 emailers is either to inform the customer, to find something that they're interested in, or to give them a service related communication, right? So there are only 3 objectives that an email usually tries to fulfill. Now, email is a mass campaign, right? The only thing you can do when you're personalizing is you can personalize the name, you can personalize the, in the communication itself, if the person's left in the card something, you can personalize that. But other than that, the template itself is going to be a mass emailer. So you cannot send an email to 10 people only. You will have to, when you're sending it out, send it out to a bulk campaign, right? Now, emails can be sent with a call to action. And what do we mean by call to action? Is just something which is buy online. So it can either say buy now, check something, etc., etc. It can either be with a call to action, or it can simply be an email which is giving you information. I think this is launched. It's not specifically asking you to make a purchase decision immediately. Now we are going to go through some sample emailers so you can see what, different types, those 3 types of emailers look like. So the first one, and what you can see on the left, is the shopper stop email. Now, here there is a very clear call to action. There is a product where the product is not explained, right? People know that when you look at it, it's a perfume emailer. It's just written ready, sent, go, and there's a shop now. This is a promotional emailer, which is a pure performance-driven emailer, which is why when we say performance, it's performance for the brand, right? The brand wants that you look at this and immediately go and purchase, or you click on this and go and browse. So this is a very clear call to action emailer. The right one, what you see, is where there's an offer available, right? This is by Adobe, and it says get 25% off. So there is an offer. However, it also gives you more details about what are the other things you can use. So it's a more descriptive emailer, and it's called a descriptive emailer. So the left one is a very pure, promotional emailer. The right one is a promotional emailer, but a descriptive emailer. Now, traditional emailers, you would have seen this, right? Now, unfortunately, traditional emailers have not worked really well for, any marketers, because people don't care, right? I mean, when it's my birthday, I get like 7 or 8 people sending me happy birthdays, and I know that it is being sent from an objective that I should buy something from them. So we know it is not a pure, wish, which is why it does not make too much of sense. So this I always recommend to do the least. Unless you are like Starbucks, for example, on your birthday gives you a coffee free, right? Or it gives you a one-on-one. Other than if you have something like that as a special birthday offer for your customer, avoid doing traditional emailers. Now, the other type of emailers you get is in the form of listicles, right? If you see this, and what are listicles? So it's listicles. Listicles is a list of something. So when you have saying, top 5 articles you need to read or top 5 weekly updates, all of these are forms of listicles. Now, if you go to CNN and BBC and all, they have this top stories for the week, right? And they have multiple stories. If you click on those, you can go to the full story and read. This is those kind of emailers. This is usually done by either content marketing publication. So if you have a Femina or a Men's XP or a Cosmopolitan, this is either done by them or this is done by news agencies. So like your CNN, Times of India, etc. Now, the other type of traditional emailers are simply announcements. Now, this is very less because, brands know that traditional emailers for announcements don't work. I mean, I am very rarely going to be interested in someone else winning an award. So this is a little bit lesser and you won't find too many of this, but this is, if you have to announce something, right, then it comes under the concept of traditional emailers. Now, this is a service related and this is the most common one. Now, in emailer world, and I'll discuss about how emailers are sent out, but in the emailer world, if you want to send out traditional emailers, you do not need permission necessarily from the customer very explicitly saying, I want to receive traditional. You know the entire concept of DND, right, which is there on messaging. DND also does not cover service related. So what brands do is unethically, they go and send their promotional emailers marked as service related emailers, and they send, to mass people who have not even opted in. Now, traditional and in the transactional emailer, which is service related emailer, whether it's an email or an SMS, both of these can be sent to customers as often as required. So whenever you get saying this is your OTP or this is your balance, all of those messages that you get, they come under transactional emailers, which are service related. Now, referral emailers are emailers where you send a message saying refer your parents, friends, etc., etc. Referral emailers honestly do not work at all. The only time referral emailer works is where there's an exclusive group where you can get an invite in, right? So if it says that you can go to a club and you can take a 1+, that's when you will refer someone. Otherwise, referral emailers have no, even if you say I'll give you a 500 rupees voucher, if I go and put my sister's number on one of these things, right, and my sister starts getting a call, she will kill me. I can't take that risk. So usually referral emailers do not work for that pure reason. However, if you want to do referral, you should always take people's email ID. So don't take people's mobile number and call them. Take people's email ID. So I will be much more comfortable giving my sister's email, knowing she can unsubscribe to it, rather than giving a phone number and getting a call. Invitations to webinars, etc. are also promotional. Now, a lot of people get confused whether this is traditional or promotional. The reason it is promotional is because it's to increase getting registrations for the event, right? And whenever there is a call to action, where there's an input by the customer, it will always be a promotional email. This also you would have seen, right? Your subscription has been continued, etc. Now, all of these are literally, if you take all the emails that you have in your inbox today, they will all come under this, right? There aren't any other type of emailers left other than these main emailers. Now, when someone tells you to start an email campaign, what we usually do, and I have done this for a lot of years, right? I usually get my email ready. So I'll get a JPEG ready. Once I get the JPEG ready and I send it to the person saying, send this out, the person will say HTML here, right? So emailers are supposed to be in the format of HTML. So other than Outlook, which supports and prefers JPEG, right? Where you can also put HTML, but JPEG is more preferred. Other than that, for all emails that you get on Gmail, etc., will have to be an HTML format. Now, in the email, after giving the HTML, what you also have to give is all of these things, okay? Every email, when I'm sending it, if I have to send it to you and if I have to say send an email out, I will give you that email HTML and I'll give you each one of these things. Now, what are these things? Now, this is a Zomato emailer that I had got, okay? Now, here, there is a subject line you can see, right? Hey, superstar, it's late enough for your entry. This is something that we have to give. In that list, you have subject line. The second thing is sender display name and sender display ID. Now, Zomato as a word is a sender display name. No reply at mailers.zomato.com is a sender display ID. For every email, we can send it out from a different sender display name and a sender display ID. So today, if I send 2 emailers, they both can be sent for Zomato itself. One can say Zomato Superstar, and the email ID can be something different. The other one can be Zomato India, right? So there is option for us at our end to change the email name and the display ID. Now you have to remember one thing, and this is very, very important to know. Okay, you can see this no reply at mailers.zomato.com. Now, initially, what used to happen is people would use no reply at zomato.com. Okay, I don't know how many of you all have ever checked this sender display ID, but initially it used to be sent by at zomato.com. Now, zomato.com is a domain. Okay, when I say domain, your website is a domain, right? Zomato.com, if it had to have a website and it has a website, it will be zomato.com. Now, Zomato.com, if they start sending emails, and this had happened to me and our entire team at Aditya Birla. So, Aditya Birla Capital has 13 businesses, right? Aditya Birla Mutual Fund, and most of you all may have heard of Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund, right? Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund had 40 lakh customers. Now, to 40 lakh customers every day, they would send out emailers which said that this is your portfolio, this is the stock you purchased, etc., etc. So in a day, easily they would have 60, 70 lakhs of emails going out to their customers because people would buy, people would sell, like shares, right? IPO kharida, shares becha, transfer kiya, all of these things. Now, when they started sending such huge volumes of emailers out, what happened is people started slowly, not everyone was putting them in spam, slowly, आज के दिन 50 लोगों ने, अब imagine 60 lakh emailers go out, 50 लोगों ने डाला, फिर 100 लोगों ने डाला. People were going and putting them in spam. Okay, you know where is spam option, right? In the 3 clicks, if you click here, it says report as spam. Now, when more and more people started reporting it as spam, because the email had care.communications at ADITYABirlaCapital.com, because that was, so it was at ADITYABirlaCapital.com, right? Because that was the domain which was also used in our email ID. Our website was getting affected and we did not know about this. No one was checking. So there is a sender reputation score that the sender ID gets, right? So this domain, whenever you send, it has a sender reputation score. Now these are sent through software tools. So Adobe Campaign Management, Netcore, Carix, there are multiple partners who send out these emailers. At that time, we did not realize that हर दिन थोड़ा कम हो रहा था. At a point when the sender reputation score crossed the breach mark, the domain, email domain, the blacklist was okay, right? So ADITYABirlaCapital.com, which is the email from where the emails were going, got blacklisted, was one thing. Our website, because it's the same domain, right? So email IDs are created from the domain. So if your domain is at pepperfry.com, your email is created under that, right? So because the email got affected, the entire website was down for 3 days. And I mean, imagine a company as big as this, right? The website was down, our email. So my email ID at Aditya Birla was pooja.menon@adityabirlacapital.com. That also had the domain. Our emails did not work for 3 days. Our sending out emails, transactional emails saying payment has been received, all of those stopped. Our website went down for 3 days just because we used at ADITYABirlaCapital.com in our sender display ID is why all of this happened. After this, it took us 6 months, and I was in the system at that time. It took us 6 months to get the sender reputation score back in place. 3 days for the website to come back up, 3 days for the emails to come back up, and it's a huge loss, right? Imagine if you have 70,000 employees and people can't send emails to each other, what do you do? So this, it's very important. You have to create a subdomain. Now, what is a subdomain? It's not very technical. Okay, you just have to remember that before the domain, which is zomato.com, you have to just add one word to it. So subdomains get created. So today, if you go to see HDFC also, or any of the, actually anyone, if you see anyone, all of them do this. They create no reply at communication.hdfc.com or care at, communications.swiggy.com or anything like that, right? They will always, after at, they will not directly put the domain. They will have one word, they'll put a full stop. This makes it a subdomain. And this is a very important thing to remember. So there may be a possibility that you may join an organization where you have to set up the email campaign for your company. Please remember this. Do not use ad and your company website, domain after it. Now, the other components of this, which you can see here, right? This entire thing is called the body copy. Whatever comes after, as an image itself is a body copy. Then you have a call to action button which says order now. You have a footer section. Now I'll explain the footer section also. You have a footer section and then you mention the unsubscribe link. Now officially, according to the guidelines by your regulatory bodies, you have to have an unsubscribe link. There are a lot of players, what they do is they have a link, but when you click on it, it goes to a blank page. But that if someone finds out, you will have to pay a huge penalty. So have an unsubscribe link. And if you're sending it from any of these softwares I told you, right? Unsubscribe page is created automatically. You just have to go take the link and copy paste it here. So you don't have to worry. And this all designers will do, right? Even we won't be creating these emails. But remember to have unsubscribe. Now, why is footer important? Footer can be used for navigation to different links. So imagine this is Zomato, right? Or imagine this is IRCTC, or imagine this is Book My Show. If this is Book My Show has events, it has restaurants, it has movies, etc., etc. What Book My Show can do is they can send out an emailer here, and below in the footer, they can have different links for each of these things. Because see, I may have today got a Book My Show Suryavanshi movie emailer, right? But I don't want to see Suryavanshi, or I've already seen Suryavanshi. Then what do? Then the email becomes a waste. So when you have a footer section and you have different links, say new releases, new events in your town, or new restaurants around you, if you have links like that in your footer, which goes, when you click on it, goes to a specific section of the app or the website, you will get more people who will be navigating to your website, because otherwise email campaigns are the biggest problem is usually the communications are very single focused. There's only one thing, right? Now I look at this, it's a party role. Do I like party roles? Maybe not. So I'll not go and go somewhere else, right? So this email becomes a waste. If niche I had saying biryani, Chinese, etc., etc., it would have helped. So that is where footer section usually is used. The other thing you can do is if you have a brand messaging, logo, tagline, those stuff, you can put it in the footer section. Any questions, anyone?